Hello, everyone. Welcome. My guest today is the one and only Amy Porterfield. Amy is the author of the New York Times best-selling book, 2 Weeks Notice, which I happen to have right here. I actually have 2 copies. And she's the host of the top-ranked podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy. And if you haven't heard of Amy, let me tell you a little bit about her. She has taught more than 50,000 students over the last 14 years, and I'm proud to be one of her students. What I love most about Amy is her generous spirit and her enthusiasm and her intuitive ability to help budding and seasoned entrepreneurs build a profitable business through digital courses. 2 years ago, we were still in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody remembers that. And I wasn't thinking about anything except how to build my etiquette speaking business or how to keep it afloat. But even though I had built a solid reputation for myself and I'd been in business for more than 2 decades, I was running out of ideas and I was also running out of hope. But then a friend introduced me to Amy Porterfield. And I attended her Digital Course Academy, and her training and methodology changed the trajectory of my business, and the rest is history. Hello, Amy.
Well, hello there, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. I am so excited. You know, my newsletter subscribers, my social media followers have been hearing about you for 2 years. In fact, last year I was one of your affiliates, and all I talked about for 2 months was how wonderful your courses are, your generous spirit, all of that. And so I am so honored and delighted that I am finally getting to meet you in person.
I know it's been too long. I was looking forward to this. So thanks again for having me.
You're quite welcome. Well, first of all, I want to ask a silly question. How long did it take you to become an overnight success?
That's such a good question. I would say that from the day I left my last corporate job to when I felt like, okay, this is working, this online business I've created is going to sustain me, I would say it was a good 3 years until things started to really click.
Wow, 3 years. That's
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Yeah. Now, I didn't make millions and millions of dollars in those first 3 years, but I felt like I could hold my own after 3 years. But it took a while to get to the place where, like, if you say, I want someone to teach me how to create digital courses, my name will be in, I think, the top 3 usually. That took many, many years to get there.
Okay, and you had some pretty dynamic mentors, didn't you?
I
Who would you
did.
say, if you had to name one of your biggest mentors, who would that be?
Ooh, I love this question. I would say that Marie Forleo was one of my biggest early mentors. I would say today I feel very fortunate that she's a dear friend. I could text and say, hey, I've got this issue. What do you think? We've gotten to be really good friends. But in the beginning, she was a mentor. I followed her. I watched her business. I saw what she was doing. I was intrigued. So, yeah, she's my very first.
Oh, excellent. And I know she has an amazing program that she promotes every year, and I love her, and I love her energy as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at the beginning. I mean, you didn't come out of the womb knowing about digital courses. In fact, I'll take our viewers back when I started. I remember the days when I used to record my seminars on cassette tapes. And I used to sell these cassette tapes. I mean, they were a hit. It was amazing how many people would buy this information. And one of the things that I love about what you have created is you give people hope that they can take their knowledge, their experience, and they can create something if they only have the confidence. And you, what you did for me is you gave me the roadmap, because I was one of many thousands, millions of people who were losing hope during the pandemic. my phone wasn't ringing. The speaking business had gone in the tank. But you were able to give people a roadmap, and that's, if people follow that, that's so easy. But let's, enough about that. Tell me a little bit about when you were growing up. Did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or what exactly did you say to yourself? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I love this question. So, never did I ever think I would have my own business and be an entrepreneur. When I was growing up, I always thought that I would have a 9 to 5 job. And quite honestly, so my very last 9 to 5 job was with Tony Robbins. And I was really good at being a corporate girl. I was climbing that corporate ladder, getting the raises and the accolades and the atta girls. And I felt great about that. And I felt really accomplished. So, never did I think I need to be my own boss. And I grew up with two working class parents. My dad was a firefighter, my mom was a hairstylist. And so entrepreneurship was not even a word in our family. Although when I was writing my book, I realized that when I was really little, I remember vividly playing Barbies with my older sister on the floor, and my dad would walk by and he'd say something like, "Girls, one day find a way to be your own boss." But such a wild thing to tell little girls that are on the, like, we were young enough to still be playing with Barbies, and he'd tell us to find a way to be our own boss. My dad wasn't his own boss, and he really enjoyed his job. So I'm not really sure where this came from, but the message must have sunk in somewhere, because here I am today being my own boss, building this business that I have. And so, really, what happened was in my last corporate job, I got the bug. You know, Tony Robbins teaches entrepreneurship. He surrounded himself with other entrepreneurs, and I watched what they were doing. They were working when they wanted, where they wanted, how they wanted. And for the first time in my life, I thought, I've never been my own boss. My dad was my first boss, and he was very strict, his way or the highway. So he was my very first boss. Then I went into corporate, and I usually had male bosses, and I never called the shots. But something inside me was just screaming, like, you got to figure this out. You got to figure this out. I wanted more freedom. So, to answer your question, I always thought I'd be a corporate girl. And then somehow or another, something shifted in me, and I had to figure out how to be my own boss. So, it was a little bit of a rocky road in the beginning, but 14 years later, I could say this is working.
Yes, and I agree with you. It does take time, and it does take passion, and it does take a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And you've been quite honest about your family life
Yeah.
and relationship with your dad, and how he would drive you and so forth. And by the way, my mom is a hairdresser too, or she was
Ah,
before she passed away.
I love that.
I was always so self-conscious about my hair, but I have to
Same.
say, I learned a lot of business lessons in her beauty salon.
Oh, I love that. So sweet. But yeah, my mom made me obsessed with my hair, and my mom is still obsessed with her hair. And so I think it just goes with the territory.
I agree. Well, let's talk about the difference between a webinar and a digital course. Is there
Okay.
a difference? Because for years we heard that word webinar, and we still use it today. But what is your definition?
I'm so glad you asked this question, because I do think there's some confusion. So when I say webinar, or other words for that would be like a masterclass. So masterclass, webinar, in my world and how I teach it, is that is a free training. Yes, people have charged for it before, but the way I teach it is a webinar or a masterclass. It's a free training, but I use it as a vehicle to sell my courses. And so if you were to sign up for a masterclass with me, I would promise to teach you XYZ, whatever it might be. And when you get on that masterclass for free, I'm going to deliver. I have this motto: no matter if they buy or not, they walk away feeling inspired, excited, and driven to take action, no matter if they buy or not. So I get on my webinars ready to serve. But about 40 minutes in, when I've delivered on what I've promised, I always offer the next logical step, which would be a digital course. So if you love this and you're excited to get started, and now you understand what it can do for you, I've got the step-by-step how to teach you what you need to do to get the results you want. That's my digital course. So it becomes a natural progression into telling people about what their next logical step can be. Take it or leave it, but this is what I've got for you. So that would be a webinar or a masterclass. Now, A digital course is what I sell on my webinars. A digital course is the step-by-step how-to to get the results that you're promising. So I teach my students how to create digital courses in terms of what's the roadmap? What does it look like from start to finish to get people the results that they want? Typically, for the course creator, it's results they've gotten for themselves, and now they're going to teach other people how to get it. So to kind of put it together, a webinar teaches free content and then sells the digital course. The digital course delivers on how to get the results people want.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Well, now that people are going back to work and they aren't working as much remotely anymore, and they want to take in-person classes, what are the benefits of a digital course versus going to someone and taking their class in person?
Yeah. So, one thing that we found in 2020 and 2021 during COVID is that people were stuck at home. They were sent home from their jobs, so they had more time at home, and then they really couldn't go anywhere for a while. And that's when the boom of digital courses, like we were already on the rise, but it really exploded. And what happened was people that would normally, let's say, go to a guitar lesson or go somewhere for cooking classes or go to a therapist or a psychologist in person, they were doing all of that online. And so now they were introduced to something that they normally would not be open to, but they didn't have a choice. And so after COVID started, the world started opening up after COVID. All of these people that normally never would have done training courses online were open to it, and they saw the benefits. And the benefits that they were seeing were number one, they didn't have to leave the comfort of their own home. And we have realized that we really like being home. You know, of course, we want to get out and have a good time, but the comfort of our own home, learning while we're in our yoga pants and sitting with a cup of coffee, that's very appealing. Number two, a lot of times is cheaper. So a digital course where there's no travel involved, you don't need to leave the house, and usually the price point's going to be cheaper unless in versus doing it in person. That was a huge benefit to the users as well. And so the comfort of your own home, no travel, less expensive, and going at your own pace was another huge benefit that people realized through digital courses. I recently did a class where I was talking about the rise of digital courses, and we're seeing users increase every single year. And e-learning is going to be an $850 billion industry in just a few short years. Like there is continual rise with e-learning and digital courses and more users. So it's never too late to create a digital course because we're only seeing an increase.
Absolutely. And it's remarkable how fast we're moving. And one of the things that I did when I took your course, Digital Course Academy, was before people would come to me to learn how to become etiquette consultants. They would come and sit in my home office, and we would put together a marketing plan and create a curriculum that they could take. Well, all that stopped. So what I did after taking your course was I recorded modules, step by step by step, on how to create a business etiquette business, a corporate etiquette business.
Yes.
And then I created the PowerPoint slides to go along with it in the workbook. And it really did well. It did very well. And that was just one course that I created. But just the fact that people can have access to information anytime, and then they can go back and study it again, which I've gone back to DCA curriculum and studied it again and again. And that's, I think that's the beauty of it.
Yes, I agree. I have students who say, Amy, I took your course 3 years ago, but I want to create another digital course. So I went back to your course because I offer lifetime access. I went back and I redid and learned all this new stuff. And that's beautiful that you could do that on your own time and in the comfort of your own home. So you're right, such a benefit.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about your boot camp, which is coming up September 13th. And people can go to my URL, etiquetteexpert.com/bootcamp, to sign up. But I do want to talk about that for a minute, because that is what, for lack of a better term, help persuade me to actually take Digital Course Academy, because I was able to learn about you. I was able to learn your teaching style. You generously gave so much information, and it was a pivotal time in my life. And that's why I chose to take the next step and make an investment in DCA. But what I want our viewers and listeners to know is that they can do this too. That it doesn't matter if they have a hobby like sewing, or if they're a realtor, or they paint cars. Anyone can start a digital course. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. Let's talk about that really quick, and then I'll tell everyone a little bit about the boot camp. I have thousands and thousands of students who have created successful digital courses, and the topics run the gamut. You would be amazed how many different topics in a digital course. You mentioned real estate. There's these two women that I work with that they're both realtors, busy moms, really wanted to stop working weekends and nights in the real estate business. And they had these templates to help people manage all their clients and make sure they get new clients. And they were just simple templates that they use, but other realtors love them. So they decided to package up all their different templates they used in their own business and make some very simple videos to teach people how to use the templates. And that became their digital course. Over 2 years, they've made $1 million with this digital course. And I can't tell you, it's as simple as it could be. And it was content they already had, but they packaged it, they taught how to use it, and it just sold like wildfire because their audience really wanted it. And so I use that example to say it doesn't have to be overly, it can be very simple and you don't have to overthink it. Another one of my students, she's a service-based business. She's a mom of four, she homeschools her kids, and she used to go to people's homes and build out their kitchen gardens. And so she would get her hands dirty, literally building these kitchen gardens. But she was one woman with four kids and she just couldn't keep traveling. And so anyone listening that's traveling too much and wants to be home with their families more, a digital course is absolutely a solution. So she decided to take what she knew about what she did in the gardens and teach people how to do it on their own. And there was a thought like, does anyone want to do this? They want me to do it for them. Would anyone want to do this for themselves? But she knew she had to give it a shot. So she decided to put it into a digital course, and her business has exploded. And on the back end of that business, now she certifies people to actually go build the gardens for their clients. So very similar to you, where you're certifying people, she does that too. But her digital course brings in a lot of people, and some of those people want to be certified. So it feeds into her business. A digital course can absolutely change your business, and you would be amazed at how many different topics are successful with courses.
Yes, the sky is the limit, and it's just another tool to put in your tool shed, especially if you are an entrepreneur. I mean, you can write books, you can speak, but if you have these digital courses and you record them once or twice, you can repackage it, you can repurpose it, you can give it away, you can sell it.
Yes, there's so many different things that you can do with it. I love that you said that. One of my students, she's had over 300,000 people go through her free digital course, but those 300,000 people signed up on her email list. So now she has a thriving email list to sell other things she does in her business. So digital courses, you could use them in so many different ways. And I see my students optimize them in their businesses, whether they start a business with a digital course, they add a digital course to their one-on-one coaching business, so they have two streams of revenue, or they do something like use it as a feeder into a certification. So there's so many different things you could do.
You mentioned an email list, and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm asked by some of my coaching clients. Oh, I only have 25 people on my list. Now, I know you also have a program called List Builder Society, which is fabulous. People don't have that. They need to run out and get it immediately. But I believe that you give people the tools to help them build an email list. And one of the things that I learned from you is you have to have a lead magnet. You have to have something free to bring people in. In return, they get the lead magnet, and in return, you get their email address, and boom. But more than that, you have to take the extra step and you have to stay in touch. So 2 questions for you. One is, what if someone came to you and said, Amy, I don't even know where to begin, how to build an email list? And number 2, how do I stay in touch with these people? What do I talk about?
Yes. So I love this question because it's such an important asset of building an online business. I really do believe that the energy of your business is directly tied to the quality of your email list, because I believe that an email list is the most important asset in your business to help you sell and, of course, connect with your audience. So the first thing is, if you want to grow an email list, the first thing you need to do is what you had mentioned, which is create a lead magnet. Now, a lead magnet is a giveaway, a freebie, a cheat sheet, a checklist, a 10-minute simple video teaching someone how to do something. It's something of quality that people are willing to give you their name and email in exchange for that freebie that you've created. It doesn't need to be elaborate. We're not talking about a 50-page ebook. We're talking about something simple, bite-sized, easy to digest that keeps people wanting more. So that's the first thing that you want to think about. You can get it created in 24 hours. So it doesn't need to be something too elaborate. But the second thing is, once someone joins your email list, we want to stay in touch with them. My motto is, once a week, I'm going to send an email to my list and give them immense value. The big question is, but Amy, what do I send them? What do I say to them? Well, there are a few different options. Number one, you are a great example. You've been sending out a newsletter for how many years now?
Oh, 15 plus. And it is
15.
my number one marketing tool, even
Oh,
my website.
Oh my goodness, this is like music to my ears. You are a perfect example of what I teach, in the sense that you're consistent, you've been doing it for a long time, and you see the value. You know how much that allows momentum in your business. So I love that we're on the same page there. But I really want to encourage people to get those emails out once a week to connect with their audience. So in my world, I have a podcast, and every Thursday I send an email letting people know about my latest podcast episode, what's in it for them, why they need to listen. And then I usually add a PS and just kind of share some things that I'm loving, like to give my personality a little bit. Here's the skincare that I'm loving right now, the book that I'm reading, the podcast that I'm listening to, just to kind of invite people in. I'm really big on sharing a little side of me, because people want to connect with a human, not a brand. And so that's what my newsletter is every single week. But if you don't have a blog or a podcast or a video show, just give value every week in an email, insight, teach something, share a story. But your goal is to give value every week so that people see you as their go-to source, so that when you're ready to sell, they are paying attention.
Absolutely. And you were the person that I listened to when I amped my newsletter from once a month to once a week, and it made
Yes.
a huge difference. And I do just what you do. I have a personal letter that I write everyone in the beginning, and then I might include an etiquette article. But then at the end, they, like you said, they want to know who you are as a person. So I might include, I just got married 3 months ago, and
Oh,
I found these cute shoes that I walked around Europe in every single day, and I'm sharing these kinds of
yes.
things with them.
I think I love to learn that kind of stuff from people that I admire and respect. And I think it's just a little extra that you give, that people are like, oh, tell me more. So, yes,
Yes,
we are
yes.
very much on the same page there.
So I want to get to your boot camp because it is coming up, and the enrollment starts August 30th.
Yep.
And then the welcome party, there is a welcome party. I recommend that for everyone. That's on September 13th. But can you just tell our viewers, just in a nutshell, what are you covering in that boot camp? Because that's how I found you, and that's how I just had to join DCA, because I fell in love with you.
That makes me so happy that you joined me in my boot camp. So, my boot camp is one of the least expensive things I offer online. It's $47, and I promise you, you're going to walk away with a whole lot more value than $47. So, I'm going to help kickstart your digital course. So, from coming up with your idea to validating it to make sure that you can make money with it, to figuring out what type of course you're going to create. You'll learn in the boot camp there's 3 different types of courses: a starter course, a spotlight course, and a signature course. I'll go through each types of courses, give examples from my students, and then you're going to decide based on some exercises which one is right for you and your business. Once you choose the type of course you want to create, we've got to figure out a price point. And once you decide how much you want to charge for it, we can do some course math to set some goals on what you could actually generate in terms of revenue with your course. And because artificial intelligence, AI, has been all the rage, I'm going to show you how to use AI as a course creation assistant. First time I've ever done this, because last year when I did the bootcamp, AI wasn't even a thing. So I'm going to share with you how to get your course done faster with some AI prompts that are very easy, very non-techy, but will absolutely help you. So we're making decisions, we're taking action. There's a community. I'm live doing the trainings. Everything's recorded. For $47, you will kickstart your digital course journey, and you'll get to see how I teach, my teaching style. You'll get virtual hand-holding, so you'll feel really supported and kind of get a glimpse of what it's like to be in my community.
I think that's a very reasonable price for all that they are getting, and they'll get some free bonuses from me.
Ooh, I love that.
So again, it's etiquetteexpert.com/bootcamp. So before I let you go, Amy, this has been such a pleasure.
Truly.
It's just a joy to know you and to finally meet you. But I have a couple of personal questions to ask before I let
Okay.
you go. And just do your best if what comes off the top of your head. So what 3 words best describe you?
Ooh, 3 words. Okay. First one, compassionate. I always lead with compassion. I think everyone's doing the best that they can in the
I
moment.
would agree. Yes.
Loyal. I think I'm a loyal friend, a loyal wife, a loyal daughter. So I think loyal. And sensitive. It's something that I've always been sensitive about. The fact that I am so sensitive, I can get hurt pretty easily. However, I've learned over the years to turn that sensitivity into a superpower so that I can really relate to people at a deep level. But I would say definitely sensitive.
Absolutely. And I believe that is a superpower because when you say sensitive, it also can be empathetic. I mean, you really
Very,
feel
yes.
what other people feel, and that is a huge superpower.
Thank
And
you.
the last question I have here is if you had to go back in time, what would you tell your 16-year-old self about life or business?
I would tell myself to don't take it all so seriously. It's all going to be okay. I live by this motto that everything is happening for me. Even when the bad stuff happens, everything is happening for me. So I wish that I could tell my 16-year-old self, just relax. It's all going to work out. Don't take it so seriously.
And it all will work out. And
Yes.
so I hope that all the viewers and listeners who are tuning in will take advantage of your boot camp, will take advantage of the Digital Course Academy, and just soak it all in because these are some amazing times. And to have a mentor like you who can develop a roadmap, all they have to do is just follow it. And
Yes.
success is just right around the corner.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a delight.
You're welcome, Amy. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon.
You too, friend.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.